Yo, what's up, Ghost here, and today I'm bringing you guys another comparison video between the Owen Gun and Welgun, and I'm throwing it back to these two SMGs because, quite frankly, bro, I'm kind of tired of the MP40. I think the MP40 is obviously a really great SMG, but like when it's just running around being the most dominant SMG for the last month and a half, or I guess since the integration's been out, it's just a little boring. Considering the state of the game, the fact that everyone feels the need to run around with that MP40 is just kind of like, I don't know, just kind of boring. I'm not a stranger to that. I use MP40 a lot, but when I branched out to the SMGs such as the Welgun and Owen Gun, it showed me that there's SMGs capable of being better, or if not at the same level as the MP40. But you know, a lot of us don't know that because we don't actually use them. So hopefully this video helps you guys get a better understanding of how good these two SMGs are in comparison to like an MP40. But before we get into the comparison, I want to say, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 2,000, currently at 1.9k. At this point, I think we're a little bit less than 100 subs away, so every sub is greatly appreciated. And yeah, man, that being said, let's get into the comparison. And here we have the recoil pattern for the Owen Gun. Now this gun right here is one of my favorite SMGs in the game at the moment. The only, I guess, negative to this weapon in comparison to a gun such as like the Welgun or even the MP40 would be the mobility. But I tried to make up with it with the perk quick and then the remove stock, so it doesn't feel as clunky. Granted, there might be some aspects that I'm missing by not running certain attachments, but I feel like my class setup overall is pretty solid. I feel very, very confident when I use my Owen Gun. I actually feel like I won't lose a single one-on-one gunfight. Like that's how good this weapon is to me. And granted, if you actually see the stats for this weapon, it's actually very, very close. I think it even surpasses the MP40 by a little bit in the stats department, which is kind of crazy to think about because the MP40 is really, really good. I mean, actually, we'll talk about the stats a little bit later, but just know, man, the Owen Gun on paper is a close match to the MP40. But this Owen Gun, man, one of the things that I would recommend is upping the fire rate. I tried putting the recoil booster because I saw someone using the Owen Gun with the recoil booster, and I thought, maybe I should try that out. But I didn't really like the recoil booster. I used the M1 something suppressor, and I like it. It works for me. Like I said, I did try using the recoil booster, but it just didn't seem the same. I felt like it was killing a lot slower, which I don't know. That might have just been me, and if you end up using it, you probably will feel like it kills way faster. But I just felt like it was negatively impacting my gun, so I decided to just completely scratch it and revert back to my suppressor. And yeah, I did really, really good with it. I was having a lot of fun with it. Again, I really feel like I'm invincible when I use the Owen Gun because it's just really, really good. And I will give credit to some people out there. When I watch certain streamers, they talk about the Owen Gun. I've seen the Owen Gun get a little bit more exposure recently, but overall, I still feel like it's completely shut out. I feel like a lot of people still sleep on it because, I don't know, MP40 is just kind of like the go-to. Everyone wants to use it. And I understand. Don't get me wrong, MP40, yes, it's really, really good, but I don't know, man. Just if you play the game for hours and hours a day, and all you do is use the MP40, like, all I gotta ask is, like, do you not get bored of that? Like, for me personally, the reason I like making comparisons a lot and just being able to use a lot of different weapons is because, you know, I don't have to sit here and use the same weapon day in and day out to create content or to just play the game. Like, I'm able to explore other guns, to explore how good they are, just have fun and be able to use the variety of weapons. And typically, for the most part, I'm able to do good with them. You know, I don't really suffer from them. And the Owen Gun specifically, like, this gun is it's just really good. And, you know, I'm just sad that right now it doesn't get a lot of attention, and I think the only way this gun might see like more attention is if the MP40 gets completely killed. And I'm not saying that I want the MP40 to get killed. I still want the MP40 to be good, but they definitely need to do something about that gun because in the update that they just put out, they didn't get touched at all. And I'm not really expecting a weapon tunage in the next coming weeks until Season 2, which is like going to take like about another month. It comes out on February 14th, and that's, you know, I would say close to a month. So, you know, hopefully they end up changing it. But with that being said, though, let's get into the Welgun and what little stats we can come up with. And then we have the recoil pattern for the Welgun. Now, I'm actually going to cut a lot of people slack for this Welgun because this gun obviously just came out like a week ago. A lot of people, I don't even feel like still have this gun unlocked and or just not leveled up. And so, you know, the reason why this gun may not be meta yet and not being used a lot is because, you know, people still don't have it or just don't want to use it. I don't know. But because I just like when I play Rebirth, right? So all I play is Rebirth. I don't like really see Welguns as much as I do MP40s or even Owen Gun. Like the MP40 still is like the predominant SMG that I see in Rebirth, and it just, I don't know, man. It just kind of sucks because when the Welgun first came out, this gun was being considered like really meta and potentially being better than the MP40. I saw a lot of people, or I just saw Jay got talking about it, and he was like, yeah, this gun has the potential to be really good, be better than MP40. And matter of fact, if you actually bought the variant in the store, that was said to be the meta loadout or close to the meta loadout. But it's like different conversations there because people don't know what the actual good mag is. Some people say the 64 round is the best mag, or there's another mag after the 64 round that people think is the best. I haven't unlocked it yet, so I can't really like say for certain, but I know that this Welgun is really, really good. And since I don't really keep up with like the Warzone, I guess the state of the game, because quite frankly, bro, like I can't stand watching the new map. I don't really like playing the new map. For me, I'm a Rebirth kind of guy, and for the most part, when I watch Rebirth players, they're like, you know, they're really, really sweating, and you know, they're using MP40s and whatnot, or sniping, having fun. So it's kind of hard to like really dictate how the state of the game in terms of meta is. I know that the MP40 obviously is like the no-brainer. That's what everyone uses, but it's kind of hard to like get an understanding of how potentially good a lot of these weapons are when, you know, I just don't really get like a big sample size anymore, because I just, you know, again, I don't really keep up. It feels like a lot of people that I used to watch play the game don't really even like to play the game anymore. So, you know, it's a little bit tougher nowadays. But I can say that from the experiences that I played, the MP40, you know, obviously considered the top tier. But these two guns, man, are very, very close to being able to overtake that gun. So even statistically, if you're more of a numbers guy, man, like just hear this. This is the only stats I have for you guys, so just, you know, just bear with me. So for the Owen Gun's fire rate, we have a 500 RPM, which is only 100 short of an MP40 space fire rate. For the damage, for 0 to 17 meters, we have 62 damage to the head, 46 to the neck and chest, 42 to the stomach, and then 31 to the shimmies, which is actually, I'm pretty sure in that range, stronger than the MP40. For 17 to 22 meters, we have 52 damage to the head, 39 to the neck and chest, 33 to the stomach, 32 extremities. And again, I think at this range, the Owen Gun is slightly more powerful than the MP40. However, once we get to the longer ranges, that's when the damage drop-off hits the Owen Gun, and then that's when the MP40, I believe, becomes slightly more powerful. Like, I don't want to get too crazy with the MP40 stats, because again, this isn't the MP40 video. But granted, given that I don't have Welgun stats, you know, the best we could do is just MP40 and Owen Gun. But if you guys want to hear more of like the Owen Gun MP40 stats, go head to head. You know, I made a video at some point, like maybe in the last 2 weeks, I made a video between these two, so go check that out. But anyways, lastly, for the 22 meter and above damage stats for the Owen Gun, we have 34 damage to the head, 25 to the neck and chest, and 24 to the stomach, and lastly 22 to the shimmies. Obviously, the damage drop out there is pretty significant. The MP40 kind of suffers something like that, but again, I think it's slightly more powerful than the Owen Gun at that range. I mean, both these weapons are actually pretty solid at range. I would say the Welgun is the only one out of the three that doesn't really have any range game, but at close range, all three of them are beast. And since there's no stats for the Welgun, obviously I can't really give you guys a clear picture of how powerful it is, but I have to say that from what I've experienced, I think the Welgun might be the weakest out of the three, but not by much. Like, I think it's the weakest, but it's not like just like significantly weak in terms of stats, and it's just like, oh, statistically on paper it's not like this and all that. I think it definitely is pretty powerful. And in terms of like fire rate, I think it's slightly faster than a base Owen Gun and just slightly slower than like an MP40. So I would probably say that the fire rate is like 550 RPM. I'd be surprised if it's anything higher or even lower than 500. But we're going to have to wait and see when the official stats come out, which hopefully is pretty soon. But, you know, granted how long it takes to actually test weapons in this game, I wouldn't hold my breath. But, you know, I know people out there who do this for a living in terms of stats are trying their best, and, you know, we appreciate their hard work. But, you know, I can understand, bro. Like, this game right now, still in a weird state. We all thought season 1 was gonna hopefully like put it in back on track. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that, and So I guess we just gotta hope that in 1 month, season 2 could just completely change the game in a better state. But you know, we could just only be hopeful because clearly it hasn't happened yet. But regardless, man, let me know what you guys think about both these weapons. Do you guys think they could be the next meta and actually be better than the MP40 even without an MP40 nerf? And if you guys had to choose between one or the other, which one would you pick and why? For me personally, out of these two, I can actually give you guys somewhat of a pick. I think personally, like not like guaranteed that Owen Gun is better, but I would personally pick the Owen Gun over the Welgun. I just love this Owen Gun so much. I have a lot of fun with it. But yeah, man, let me know your guys' personal thoughts in the comments, and I'm out. Peace.